What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with another podcast. I hope everyone's had a great day. Yesterday was miserable. Ended Newcastle 4, Forest 3. We get everyone's thoughts about the game. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and get involved, people, and how you're feeling about yesterday's defeat. But the positive thing about it, we're still third. So we're going to have a little good chat about this as well. We have a good chat about Wednesday's game as well. So, like I said, people, get involved. Well, let's get the panel in. Let's start with Grumpy Mollo, who was behind me yesterday. Mollo, do you feel better now?
I'll do a bit, but I'm watching the rerun. The first half still doesn't look great.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I just watched Tell catch a cross and then drop it straight behind the goal. I didn't realise how close that was to going in either, but there we go. I'm feeling okay now after my 5-hour journey home.
People imagine him, but he was behind me from being miserable for the whole first half. Shout out to Ellie as well. She's a good girl, but with him, miserable as hell, man. But shout out to Ellie as well. Next up,
I wasn't miserable for the first 10 minutes.
Oh, what? Oh, what?
First 10 minutes I wasn't miserable.
Yeah,
I think I 1-0 up.
He was grumpy. He was grumpy. People, he was grumpy. Next up, we've got the worst. How you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, not too bad, Ben. Can't wait to get my teeth into it.
Was you grumpy?
Yes. but then I went to watch my favourite band in Birmingham, so it wasn't too bad then.
Oh,
so that kind of distracted it. So, yeah.
And next door, we've got the Northern Legends as well. Chelsea and Kev, DoreOntour and Stad. How are you two doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Cheers, Ben.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right.
You all right? You're not grumpy as Mollo, are you?
Yeah.
I
don't think I could compete.
Oh, days. So people, make sure everyone shows some love to the panel as well, people. Before we do, we've got Hadi, actually legend, Sebastian, how do you, my friend, and Colin as well. I hope you're well, Colin. If you do want to be a member to my channel, please do. It helps my channel a lot. All you do is to hit the $sign, and like I said, any super chats, like it goes towards my channel as well. Well, let's dive into the game yesterday. Like I said, it was disappointing, but there's a few positives about it, negatives, positives, so people get involved as well. We'll start with you, Mollo. Tell everyone, why was you grumpy the first half, man? Tell everyone.
Right. Just to say, I'm watching a rerun, and it's quite good at 6 minutes 12 with there's been 1-0 up. I was grumpy because, I don't know if grumpy is the right word, I was fuming because I don't mind losing, and I don't mind getting beat by the better side, but I cannot stand to see my team play without fight. Second to every ball, second to every second ball, second to every third ball, letting runners run off you, leaving your defence completely exposed, and the lack of fight. I know it's not a lack of effort, but a lack of fight, and I was really worried. And like one of the lads with me said, it feels like at that point, it felt like our race was run. They've run out of steam for the season, and I was fuming. I wasn't grumpy. I was angry because there's no excuse for not fighting. But in fairness, they come out second half, and Nuno called it. He said we weren't ourselves. I wanted us to be more like ourselves, and we were second half, and we battered them. And I watched the last 10 minutes again. Number of half chances, headers, everything, But yeah, I was very grumpy, Ben. And so would you be if you was old when you get old as me. And Steve was grumpy too. But just didn't like it. I didn't like the basic mistakes, the lack of fight for the ball, 10-yard passes going astray under no pressure. There's no excuse for that. That's a lack of application. That's not a lack of quality, because they're all quality. We know that. And it was just really frustrating. And fair play, they turned it around second half. And in truth, we deserved a draw. But if you 4-1 down, you don't deserve anything if you let yourself get 4-1 down at half time on the one hand. So yeah. And on top of that, there was an amazing chicken and whatever it was going around. I went at half time to get someone and run out. So I was even more grumpy. But look for the second half before we sorted it out.
You're about the food. You're about the food in the ground. You're about the food in the ground. Right.
Yeah.
shout out to Gary Marriott. I think it was Gary. He was next to me and he brought a nice. Shout out to Newcastle. They brought some nice food. I didn't get in there because the queue was massive, but I was jealous. That was the best thing about Newcastle, the food. But I didn't get in there. I just looked at it. It was nice. So shout out.
I didn't get any either. Well, I did, but not that.
You didn't deserve in there. You didn't deserve in there because you was fucking grumpy, man. And I'm like, yeah. Forrest, next time behind him
Then,
again.
what do you want me to do? You want me to be happy when we concede 4 goals in 11 minutes? I go, oh, lucky lad, that's bad luck. They're just really good.
Right.
Not that good.
I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna repeat what he said. I'll tell you after the stream. He kept saying it over and over again. Even Ellie told him, "Stop saying that kind of word." So don't repeat what you said, Molo. You know what he said. Don't repeat. There's kids in here as well. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
To be fair, it weren't our players.
Huh?
To be fair, that weren't our players. That was when that penalty was given.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Next one got washed. Yeah. Well, Steve, shout out to Dylan, who's next to him. Dylan, have a quick wave, Dylan. Quick wave.
Quick wave.
Yes, Dylan. He's the best one. He's the best one. He's the second best. He's the joint best one here, behind with Chelsea and Kev. Steve, and yeah, well, yeah. Before we do it, shout out to Eve. Good evening, Mr. Dore, Steve Muller and Chel Kev. Hope you're well. It's a shame we lost yesterday, but I'm still confident. Just about to go outside for a 20-minute skip. And that's it. Eve, you go for a quick one as well. Sebastian, how easy and hard was the language chance that threw into the crowd? We will get through that as well. We will get through that. Shout out to Sebastian and Kieran. Opinion, don't give any contract. He isn't a long-term future. And again, that's something that we are going to talk about throughout the stream. So please do it. Hit the like button, please, if you can, and subscribe. Steve, what was your thoughts on the game?
And were you angry?
Was you angry?
Yes. I was extremely angry and peed off in our first half. And I'm going to echo what Marlo said. I've said many times, Ben, that any football fan, you could ask any football fan of any club, they want the same thing from their team and players is running and effort. If they give you that, you can't argue. But some of the players, yes, in our first half were just like, I mean, I was criticising United on Saturday's Everton, and some parts of our first half, I was like, wow, were these manager plays in disguise? I'm like, honestly, like, to show a bit of something, and like, they couldn't even pass 5 yards. Well, I've never seen Murillo give the ball away so much. And wasn't he playing rugby yesterday? He kept on kicking her a touch all the time. I mean, it was just really frustrating in our first half. I don't think I've been that angry for a while. Like, I've been bored and I've been kind of like, oh well. But that yesterday was just, I know the hype now around us. We're in third. We're there on merit, and with people. I was watching that yesterday, and people are probably laughing, going, "What is it? Forest are third in the Premier League. Look at the state of them. We were embarrassment in the first half." And I hate to use that about my team and players sometimes, but they were. And, it was so bar the goal. I mean, I'm sure we'll get to individuals later on, but it's just like the way we just, and to be fair, Newcastle didn't we have to break, we have to work for their goals? I mean, if you look at the goals, like the first goal was Miley. Was Miley the first goal? Yeah. He kind of had about 5 yards of space in the box, turn, bang. There's a penalty, which, okay, you've seen him given and haven't been given. Help us out. What was the other goal? What was the other? Oh, the one Willock from the yard out. Yeah. I mean, that was, and I'll get to that later about that right-hand side yesterday, which I think was shocking. And the fourth goal was, I can't remember now.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Isaac. It was Isaac, the fourth goal. That was shocking
That
as well.
Deflection, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, deflection. That's right. Yeah, it was like a Forest kind of goal, wasn't it? It was like a counter, wasn't it? But that was a deflection as well. So I mean, it wasn't like they scored goals and ripped us apart and outplayed. It was just like we just gifted them. And the second half, we showed fight. I mean, obviously they had a bit of a rollicking, and I mean, I think it was a fact that Nuno ripped into him. Perhaps he used the penalty as ammo as well to say to the players, look, I thought he would have made changes half time. It was almost like he said, "You made us. You got us into this mess. You go and sort it out." I mean, he could have easily made 3 subs half time, but sometimes you say to the players, "Right, okay, you go and sort this out." And also say, I reckon of the 10 minutes, honestly, I think we could have drawn that game. Which half time, it would have been like what? But I will say one thing, right, Ben. And I said this to you after the Southampton game. We were 3-0 up. Going in with a 3-0 or a 3-goal cushion is quite dangerous because you kind of take your foot off the gas. Because Forest yesterday would have had nothing to lose yesterday in the second half. We went for it, but we just left it too late. So I think Newcastle completely went, they kind of retreated and we went, we played on the front foot. It's just why after Hudson-Odoi scored, why couldn't we just continue? And we just, I don't know, it was just really disheartening to see us implode like that in our first half. I was really angry at our first half, really angry. I haven't been that angry since, I always go back to that game, Spurs away under Cooper. I think we lost 3-1.
3-1.
That game, that was like, we were terrible. We were so boring, terrible that game. But yesterday, our first half, I just want to raise that. It was that bad, honestly. Seeing Forest players not be able to pass 5 yards, I just can't. I can't take that.
Steve, just a quick question, Steve, and don't take it personally, but is it worse than watching a Welsh rugby team these days?
Oh, well, that don't bother me. That don't bother me.
You're not interested in it.
Don't bother me. Don't bother me.
For all the records.
But Ben, minute 12 minutes, clip that, because if Wales do beat England now in a few weeks at Cardiff, I'm going to play that clip back.
Listen a bit. I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved with a sport that I don't really watch. It's between you two. So people in the chat, it's these two speaks.
No. All I know is I just read they've lost something like 48 games on the trot or something.
Don't get involved.
We're out.
Don't get involved.
No comment.
Let's start with you, Kev.
Sorry,
do you echo what Stephen Muller says, Kev?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't think we could get further back or defend so much further back. We were on the edge of our box. I mean, from right early on, it was just frustrating. It didn't look like we were going to score, to be honest. And then it all happened by a mistake. The thing was, they weren't very good at the back at all. And we didn't. I mean, Byrne, how quick is he? We were making him look like Maradona in the first half.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it's the guy who, you see a weakness there and you should go for it, but we did not expose it. They were in the second half. We did, and obviously we got some rewards out of it. But it was so frustrating. I was sitting there thinking, bloody hell, this could be 8 and half time. So I was actually pleasantly surprised, but frustrating all what first half. As you say, Steve, there was passes going astray, and it was one after another. There was just a general apathy there. It's almost like it was an end of the season game, mid-table, nothing to play for. Just let it all happen and then get off. That's how it appeared to me. There were so many individuals who probably didn't have their best games, if I'm being kind. But as you rightly said, if you look at all of those goals, the penalty, do you blame Sells? He went and then he stopped back and then on another day could have flicked over.
We thought, from our angle, we thought he saved it.
He saved it. I mean, it looked worse because he wrapped himself in the net, didn't it, really? But there was another couple of deflections where Sells was there and, here we go, it's gone over. So, and also, if you'd have gone to Newcastle, performance aside, and we would have played well and lost 1-0, you'd have thought, oh, well, difficult place to go, I suppose. So I'm a half full person at this moment in time.
Chelsea,
I wasn't really watching it, though, but I've reflected.
Chelsea, do you echo what Dad says?
Yeah, literally everything. The pure frustration of that game. And then even when we were playing better the second half, it then becomes doubly frustrating because you're like, we know we've got it in us. So if we'd have only just played like that in the first half, we wouldn't be in this mess that we would then have to try and sort out. So it's just doubly frustrating, even though we're playing better. It's just like, why did you not just do that? But yeah.
I think there was one shot on the TV when, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 or whatever, third or the fourth goal. There was a picture of Callum there and he was just shaking his head. He was just, it's like, flipping heck, what's going on? That just about sums the game up, I think, to be perfectly honest.
Before there's quite a lot of comments going through this, and this is from Tower. We need to really step up our performance after being 1-0 up, 2 mistakes, to be fair, and the goals were really golden divide. Should have been booked. Ref was blind as bat. You Reds, like I said, Mark, you Reds as well. Right, let's talk about individual players because I saw on social media, and like I said, when you're watching the game, first half it was awful, and one player's getting battered, and and Kieran says that inconsistent, yes, but isn't a good season. But consistently doesn't track back. Lazy, poor. Teams know to go on the right hand side, and Newcastle did it to beat us. He's replaceable. Right, let me put it in context. I'm going to dig at you, Kieran. Like, yes, Inner wasn't great at all yesterday, at all. But from the start of the season to now, and I said it on this channel, and I think quite a lot of people said it, he's been the best right back in the Premier League. Yes, he had a good poor game yesterday, but people saying that he's not great. In the panel, who wants to talk about Ina? Who wants to talk about him?
I'll go for it.
I want to talk to Kisler about him.
Right, people in the chat,
right.
Get involved.
Go on. I'll let Steve go. Let Steve go. Sorry,
okay.
I'll get too grumpy and emotional.
Right, go on, Steve. You talk about Ina.
Right. I agree that the debate is has he been the best right back in the Premier League? That is a debate. He is going to be up there. But for yesterday, do you know what? Yes, he was frustrating me, right? I thought he would have taken him off half time. I thought he might have moved Nico over to right and then brought Moreno on as left.
Yeah.
But again, like I said earlier, maybe Nuno said, right, you boys are going back out there now and sort this out, right? But we let one person off the hook here, Alanga. Now, when you've got a right back, you need your right winger in front of you to help you out. Now, Hall and Gordon were rinsing us down that side. Now, I would sympathise with Aina that when you got them two doing little 1-2s around you and knocking down the line and cutting inside and there's always that spare man, I sympathise with him. But as an individual yesterday, Aina, for some reason, he couldn't control the ball. He just couldn't lay it off. He was like, he wouldn't take the man on. He was cutting back. He just seemed off it. He just went in days. And yes, I was critical of him yesterday, but I know on Wednesday now, he could have a game of his life. And we'll forget about it. That's the way us football fans work. But for that first half performance, yes, we all know that every player has an off day. And yeah, I was critical of him, but I'm not going to hold it against him because I know he's been probably one of our best right backs we've had in many a year. And he's on a free as well. It's not like we paid £80 million for him. So, I mean, yeah, but Langa has got to take part of the blame yesterday because he didn't help him out at all. He hardly tracked back. And Moro's got the game on the TV there. And if you watch it, Aina was just getting, Hall and Gordon were just having a field day on that side. And there was no coincidence on the other side.
You know what, Steve? You know what, Steve? So far, watching, twice, Langa's made the run and then the ball's been given away really cheaply under no pressure. So you make the 20, 30-yard run forward and it's a 40-yard sprint back if you're lucky to get there in time, which he clearly didn't at the time. I know what you're saying. I'm only like 25 minutes in or whatever, but I'm going to... Alanga doesn't need defending at the end of the day. He's been Aina. He's been classed this season. And like Steve says, it's a debate, but it's a debate that most people would say Aina's been the best right back in the league. There's nobody else come close. That Timber looks quite good, but I don't know if he's even supposed to be a right back. But like you say, we paid nothing for him. Some of the idiocy I've read today about I'm not bothered if he signs a contract, blah, blah, blah. How much they think it's going to cost to replace him? You know, I think Williams is brilliant and Williams could replace him and you buy a left back. But how much do you think it's going to cost to buy a first team fullback? Williams cost 17.5 million and he wasn't the full package at that point. He's grown into being a superb player he now is. You know, he was good when we signed him, but we were like thinking, well, that's a lot of money. Now we could probably sell him for more than that. I'm sure we could. But Aina costs nothing. I don't know anything about his wages. If he wants to sign a contract, I would be biting his hand off, paying him a massive signing on fee because it's going to cost 10, 15, 20, 25 million to get anyone anywhere near that standard. It's insane. Form is temporary, class is permanent. And I think I put earlier on one of the groups, he's a ridiculously talented young man with an amazing character. You know, he's a real bubbly personality. He's important in the dressing room. Anyone who says they should get rid of it, he hasn't been brilliant the last 4 games, in fairness. He's had a dodgy game at Bournemouth and a dodgy half yesterday. But that's over 28 games, whatever it is. You know, it's hard to play well every single game, isn't it? I'm with Steve.
That's annoying thing. Yeah, he's not been great for the last 4 games, but when you hear fans saying, "Oh, he's not good enough," I'm like, we're in 3rd place, for God's sake. We're in 3rd place.
And like Steve said, I probably butted in a bit. Steve said he had a poor first half. It was incredibly poor. Yes. But he turned it around second half, and that takes character in itself to say, hang on a minute, that's not me. And he was superb second half. And that's what we want to see Wednesday, isn't it? But yeah, sorry, I'm getting on my high horse. Just you do get a lot of idiots on Twitter, I know, but you know, it's one of them, innit?
Steve, what you got? Any on the panel want to? Steve, carry on.
No, just with us football fans, I know some really harsh Forest fans up there, but I think as fans, we are quite reactive in the way we criticise players. When we win a game, we just instantly go, "Oh, get him off! He's crap." Or I can't be bothered now if he doesn't sign a contract. Get rid of him. We're really quick. We speak from the heart so quick. And when a player then scores a hat trick, we're like, "Oh my God, this guy is the best thing since sliced bread. We can never sell him. He's the best." You know, not too long ago, people were like, "Oh, is Gibbs White good enough?" I'm like, "Really?" You know what I mean? It's just some fans, Marlo, are so quick. Not one instant yesterday was like that first half going, you know what? If we get rid of Ing now, I wouldn't care. No, I was like, I know we can improve. I know this is not him. You know, we've had so many players over the years which have been crap, and we know they're crap. And it's just right, okay, if they leave, I'm not going to lose sleep. But Aina, I agree with Molo. His character, you see on these videos, he's like the heartbeat of the team. He's got good morale. You know, if we lost him, I'm telling you, if he could, I tell you, Man City would take him. And they have come out and said, well, not them, but it has been in the tabloids and so on, is that Man City been looking at him. So this guy has got something about him. And I mean, if he left, I'm sure these Forest fans would have egg in their face, because he'd go to another club and he'd rip it up there.
I think you're absolutely right. The other thing as well, because as you say, he's been having a couple of dodgy games. The trouble is now we all look out for him. Is he going to have another dodgy game? And that's what the fans will do, and they'll be ready to jump on him, I think.
Yeah.
And that's half the problem.
So in that theory, then, right? Why don't we then? Oh, Nuno, it's down to Nuno, but like with Alanga just prior to Christmas, take him out of the team. It might do him good.
Yeah,
and maybe start with Nico and Moreno, because I know Molo's shaking his head there, but what I'm saying is, if we take that Alanga, I know right back is slightly different to a right winger, but maybe I personally wouldn't drop Ina. But I'm saying is there's options there if he's slightly off it, because we've all agreed on this panel that he's been off for 4 games. Now, when Alanga was off for 4 games, what we were saying is we were saying, "I'll take him out the team, give him a rest, maybe refresh." So maybe Aina just needs rest him against Arsenal.
3 out of 4. Steve. He was brilliant against Brighton. 3 out of 4.
Oh, we would all, but we would all bring him right when we were just all. It was that whole collective thing, and when we,
But that's a frustrating thing, how quick fans are to jump on him. 3 games.
Yeah.
The whole season that we've had when we're in 3rd place, and everyone.
I think it is right. So I'd put in Charles, but you know what it is, right? Like I said, because we're 3rd, and he's been playing great so far. The moment a player
expectations, isn't it?
Yes, and that's what I think. I think those fans and even the players got to get used to this pressure of being where we are, because we're used to the pressure of being in the bottom 3, 16th to 18th, whatever, and now we're in the position. We look at Aina and say, "Oh, he's one of the best players of the season." And now, yes, he's not been great for the 3 or 4, but I won't drop him. Steve, sorry, Steve, I've got to throw this on the bus there.
No, that's fair enough. It's not right or wrong, Ben. It's just debate, isn't it?
Exactly. It's not that, because the worst Wizards, still, Nico Williams. I think he's been fantastic left back, and I won't put him right back up. And with Ona Aina, yes, I think because everyone's been criticising him with he does his Snapchat, he must focus on football. But when you win games, you're going to prat around after getting to do all these things. But listen, people in the chat, what do you feel about Eno Williams? Do you think he should drop? Should carry on? Get involved? Before I do, shout out to KO Forest. I saw you before the game. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. To be a member, if you are on your phone or whatever you're on, you'll see the $sign and you'll be all it says click on membership, Kieran, KL Forest TV. So please do it. But yeah, carry on.
Sorry, Ben. I just really quick point on you said about the standard. Then it's a really valid point you just made, Ben, about the standards we set now as fans, because even Murillo, right? On yesterday, I was so annoyed with him giving the ball away. Now, in my head, that's not the standards I know Murillo has set himself, like giving the ball away. But we got to remember, he's only a youngster. He hasn't been playing full professional football. But because we get wrapped in it in the 90 minutes, I'm still thinking, wow, he should be misplacing passes. I got to remember as well, he's a footballer, just a human, and we all do mistakes. But like you said, Ben, it's a valid point, is that we've set a standard going, these boys can never do mistakes. They can't have an off day. They've got to stay in that high bar. But we've got to remember as well, even the best teams in the world have off days and players. But it's just as fans, we get so wrapped in the moment and going, come on now, you've got to be consistent for 90 minutes. No loose passes. You've got to run. You've got to tackle. Everything's got to be perfect. And it's just that's because we're third now. We're not third from bottom. We're third from top.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. We've set that standard.
What?
We used to.
This is not a problem.
No, not like that. No. I'm not saying. Sorry, Kev. What I'm saying it's a good problem. It's a great problem to be in third. And like I said,
the only problem is we're not second or first.
Exactly. Kev, sorry, what was about to say something, Kev?
No, we were just saying we used to get that week in, week out, didn't we? And we used to accept it. That sort of standard of football, And we've just gone beyond that now, to be fair.
But even the pressure of Europe knocking on the door as well, like that's got to add how much.
And I still think we're still work in progress, really, to be fair.
Yeah, because we are going. We are going to Champions League
from 17th up there, and you think, so yeah.
What can I just throw a caveat? Oh, sorry. I'll throw a caveat to what they've said. I can't. Sorry, you're breaking up. Sorry, I can't. Sorry, Kev.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. What I was going to say is my caveat to that. It's not about expectation. It's not about pressure. I don't care if we're in League One, Championship, bottom of the league, or top of the league, or playing Sunday League. It's never okay to concede 4 goals in 11 minutes ever at any standard. And what Steve said about. I'm seeing some of the passes that are going astray under no pressure. No professional footballer should ever do that more than once in a game. And I've just watched, I won't name names, I don't like doing individuals. I'm watching the same players just giving the ball away 3 times on the trot under no pressure. And it's frightening. And there's one player who's got runners coming off him. It's like watching, at times, a bunch of light blue cones getting played around. And it's bizarre because that's not us. And that's why I was angry at the time, and I'll F and Jeff while I'm at the game. I'll get on with it. Well, I won't abuse a player, but not that they can hear you from up there anyway. But equally, when the game's finished and you reflect on it, you see it was a fluky 4th goal with a little deflection. But Newcastle did some good stuff along the way, to be fair, because they didn't take every chance in that first half either, did they? No. And I'm watching, them playing around us without any pressure on the ball, any pressure on the man with the ball. At that level of football, if that was a Championship side, they would have torn us apart in that 20 minutes. Because for some weird reason, we just sat off and let them do what they want. And that's not okay at any level. But what is good, over the course of the game, they turned it around and deserved a draw, in truth. I mean, it's unreal. Anyway, that's my rant over. And stop sorry for being grumpy, but you can't say because we're third in the league we've suddenly become incapable of doing the basics. That's just wrong on so many levels. Sorry, I'm getting on my high horse now.
Don't worry about it. It's all good, Molo. Right.
Right, sorry.
People, this is Molly yesterday. He was behind me, and how do you think I felt yesterday?
Well, four of us doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The lads are with. Some of them have played a really good level of football too.
Right, another discussion, and I said again, we saw the team, and everyone thought it was a great team, but like I said, the first one was rubbish. Okay, come on, let me see this one. This guy's getting angry before I can say something. Look at him. Right, because I saw you mention Mark, and we brought on Yatesy, and I love Yatesy, and he didn't play against Fulham. He played against Exeter, but no disrespect to Exeter, you can't count Exeter. He come off against Bournemouth, but that's you, Kev. We should have played Yates yesterday because he come on and all the hate that he gets, and which baffles me. And again, we're third in the Premier League, and he's been part of that team that's been third. Now Sangare's back. Everyone's saying, Sangare's he's a first choice, bloody, whatever it is. But Yates for me is a first choice number 6. Kev, what do you feel? Do you think Yates should have started yesterday? And people in the chat as well, get involved. It really frustrates me. He should have started yesterday. Do you think, Kev?
Well, I wasn't too disappointed with the lineup when it started.
I'm interested to see what he says.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go on, Kev. Say it, Kev. Say it with the chair. Say how Mollo feels.
Come on.
Do it.
No.
Even Steven's thinking what to say about. He's thinking what to say. Say it, Kev. Say it.
But it's that technically 100%. You'd rather have a person who's 50% technically good given 150% than 100% technically given 50. That's me. Because he can run around, he can kick people, he can disrupt, he can do all those things. And actually he can pass as well. And that was a big thing.
Can I say something? Sorry, Kev, let me say something about it. And shout out to Des. I don't know if Mollo might saw it. You know when Ryan Yates came on, you know what Ryan Yates, what the first thing he did? Do you know he nudged Bruno Gomez? He nudged him. Literally on the pitch. Literally. I'm like, and that's what you want. Just to wind him up.
He does the ugly things well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does all these things. And like I said, and shout out to Des seeing it, like he just nudged him. Like, I'm here now, I'm on the pitch, you're not gonna do nothing. And that's what he did. He come on the pitch, and that's his job, just to wind up these players. And that's why I don't understand why he gets so much grief. And Sangare, yes. He's been here for 2 years. Like, he's been injured, and all this. But for me, Sangare did come on yesterday, and he did all right. Both Yates and Sangare come on yesterday, and they did all right. But for me, Ryan Yates is for me, and no disrespect to Dominguez as well. Dominguez has been fantastic as well for Nottingham Forest. Like I said, we're third in the Premier League. Dominguez wasn't great yesterday, but come on, who wants to give a shout about this one? Who wants to start?
Before can I just say one thing quick though, right? If you do watch the first 10 minutes of that game, 15, we did actually get stuck in because we did do a couple of crunches, right? And there was a couple of challenges. Their fans were getting frustrated, right, that we were getting away with some challenges. Now, they weren't dirty, but they were bordering, like, a few were, like, they were late. But that's showing us, that was showing no respect to them. But it was almost like, I don't know whether the players felt that it was going against them, where we just held back then. We should have just carried on getting stuck into them. Obviously, within reason, not throwing yellow cards or even a potential red, but I just wanted to say that quick, Ben, because I touched up on your point about players getting stuck in and Yates just getting stuck into Bruno, because I found that Gordon he was going down like pathetic half time, Anthony Gordon, just breathing in when he went down.
Yeah.
And that was up for debate as well. That free kick, Aina was very unlucky. That was, even the commentator.
Didn't touch him.
No.
Didn't touch him.
I let Molo or Kelsey say about Yates. I'll come on to the midfield later on.
Go on, Chelsea. You go, Chelsea. You go.
What, Yatesy?
Yes, Yatesy. Stand up for Yatesy. Come on.
He's got a unique role, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's got a role in the team that nobody else has. And he's going to come on and he's going to nudge and he's going to go down. And that's what Yatesy does. And sometimes you need that to break up play. Sometimes he gets me frustrated. But then it's almost like when I am watching the game, he gets me frustrated. But then when I go back and watch like highlights and rewatch it, I then kind of go, oh, I see what he done there. I see he's breaking up play there. I see he done enough, and you can see, like you said, about that he winds players up, and sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
So it's like a head and heart situation.
When he actually scored yesterday, he picked that ball up and he was
Yeah.
roaring people up. And
he
his
scored as
face,
well, didn't he? And that's right.
Yeah.
his face looked like. Do you know? I looked at his face. He looked like Vinnie Jones there. The
Yes, you said
expression on
that.
his face, he looked. Yeah.
You know what? I love that. He's our Vinnie Jones.
But way
Shout out to
prettier.
him, Vinnie Jones.
Honestly,
Vinnie
he
Yates. Vinnie Yates. That's his name.
Pretty Vinnie Jones.
He did. He was sort of like he was ready just to go again.
Yeah, he was. He knew that we
You know?
didn't have a lot of time, and he just was like, "Yeah,
There's a
let's go
place for him
again."
yesterday on it, and he was there. Should have been.
Yeah.
Like, just one more, just one more.
Vinnie Yates. Yeah.
Vinnie Yates.
Vinnie Yates. I do that. Steve, go on, Steve. What do you want to say?
We missed an opportunity yesterday with Yates, because I felt without the danger man, the nasty piece of work in the midfield, Joelinton. Without him playing, I felt Yates would have. He loves them cold runs, them atmospheres. Like you said, he's an S-house. He would have got stuck in. He wouldn't have held back like through them players did after that first 10, 15. He would just carried on smashing into Bruno, smashing into. Can you imagine him getting to that young lad who scored,
Miley.
Can you imagine him just putting little taps in his ankles, just in his ear, just pulling his shirt a little bit. These little mind games, master, these little things that go on that we don't see. It was a perfect game for him because in that atmosphere, and with the Newcastle fans, they quick to turn as well. And
what atmosphere? It's a myth.
That to me was shocking. Absolutely.
I see a few comments online.
When I go to Newcastle and shout out to Newcastle fans, they always bring the atmosphere. But yesterday, I didn't hear nothing. Did we, Mollo? We didn't really hear nothing.
No.
When they scored the goals, yeah.
Nothing. It was. But it's something when the away fans are singing, "Where's your famous atmosphere?" when it's 3-1 to them or 4-1 to them. But my way in on the Yates debate.
Wait. Let's do finish.
Sorry, you're not finished. Sorry.
No, it's just I'm starting to see myself now. I don't know if any of the fans agree. I'm finding that if we don't get that balance right in the midfield, it's kind of costing us now. Because we know what Wood, Alangan and Hudson-Odoi can do. We know what the back five can do. I just feel, are we getting played too easy now with the midfield? Is that balance of, Sangari's come back, the Lilo's come back. We've let Ward-Prowse go. We've got still Dominguez, Yates in there. Anderson, obviously. It's getting that. I still don't think Nuno knows his best midfield. And that's my worry. And that's just going to say, it's just getting that balance, Ben, I feel like he tends to get it. When he gets the midfield wrong, it costs us.
Yeah. Mollo, echo on it?
Well, two things. When we were... because someone told me the team kind of an hour before it came out, and I said, no, there's no way he's going to play that lightweighted team away at Newcastle with the players they've got in terms of the midfield and two wingers. I said, if he plays two midfielders, he's got to have Yates in there. There's no way that he's going to do that. And then it turned out the guy had got the inside track. It was the right team. So we were worried. And when we scored, we're thinking, maybe he does, maybe we're going to get away with it. But there's no doubt. I mean, I'm watching it, and Anderson's a one-man show in midfield across the middle.
Let's play on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, when Yates and Sangari, when they came on, they both did really, really well.
Sangari, he did come on and play well.
I feel like I've just been listening and reading and listening to what you guys are saying. I think, and Kev alluded to it, but there's too much talk about Yates breaks up play and Yates winds people up and Yates gets under their skin. I get all that, but he's a bloody good player. And when he's playing, he makes the players around him better because he's playing. I don't care what anyone says. If Yates was called Yatesinho and he had quicker feet that did little tricks before he passed the ball, instead of a nice simple pass, everyone would rave at him. You look at the stats when Yates plays compared to when he doesn't play since we've been promoted. I'm not saying he's a one-man show. Of course he's not. But he's the sort of player. If you're a dwarf like me or Dominguez or whatever, he's the guy you want alongside you, not just because he wins the ball and does all the dirty stuff, but he wins the ball and he gives it you with good quality on it. Yates, Kev said it. Yates is a good passer of the ball. This myth about him not being very good. Yes, he's not going to take the ball on a half turn the way Gibbs White can, and he's not going to run past 5 or 6 players the way Elanga can at pace. But he's a really good footballer. Every manager's picked him, as someone said earlier. We look better with him in the side, especially away from home. He's my first man on the team sheet.
Let me echo. I'm not going to mention this guy's name. Some idiot. I'm not going to mention this. Said he's not a Premier League player, and he's not good enough like to be in the Forest team. I'm like I say, you know who you are. You're absolutely clown. Like I saw on a podcast this morning about slagging the usual. I think people know who I'm talking about. It's actually destroying Ryan Yates again. I'm again. Sorry, Molly. It just winds me up about people.
No, you're right. The problem is as well. It's the FIFA generation, isn't it? If they haven't got, I can't remember. My lad plays it. Speed 98, skill 150, whatever it's all out of. Then they can't play. John McGovern could barely run, but he's got 2 European Cups, 2 league titles, and what have you. You know, it's horses for courses. What was it Eric Cantona called Didier Deschamps? A water carrier. Well,
David Phillips
look at his medals. It winds me up. I think Danilo is a great, you know what I mean? Yates is, for me, unless he's not playing well, Yates is the first name on the team sheet. And I get that he's played a lot of games this season, and if his form did dip a little bit, I get we've got other options. I'm not saying he's undroppable, and he would be the last to say that. But I would say, away from home, especially after what's happened in the last few games away from home, he, for me, unless I'm doing it in the right order, in which case it sells, but he's the first name on the team sheet away from home for me. And I don't care if he can't beat 10 players. I don't care if he doesn't thread the ball for an eye of a needle. I don't care. He will keep possession, give it to the players who can play and make their job easier, just like John McGovern used to, just like good players do. It's such a fallacy. It winds me up, something chronic. And I sometimes wonder, the people who say these things, have they ever played the game? I know you don't have to have played the game, but have they ever played the game? You know, do they not see? Just watch Ryan Yates, what he does in a game. And the added bonus is that he winds the other teams up as well. But that's not all he's about. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I've got off my... I'm not grumpy now, I'm angry again. But whoever it is that's slating him, he hasn't got a clue. They would, if Declan Rice was a Forest player, they'd probably slag him off as well, because he's a similar type of player. Very similar, isn't he?
He gives you something different as well, doesn't he, Molo? In a team where we've got a midfield that are very, very similar, hence why it might. Yates gives you something different, and he can be having a bit of a mare, but he'll get himself through it, and that's in a game. He is consistent. He's 100%, and he will die for the club, won't he?
Yeah,
that's what
he's got grit, isn't he?
You know,
he's a winner, isn't he? At the end of the day, he's a winner.
Another thing about
he knows he wasn't the one.
Steve, go on, Steve.
Oh no, another thing about Yates as well. When you're under the cosh like we were yesterday, he can win you a free kick as well. You can just give him a bit of breathing space. Because what he does, he wins the ball in and around the box, and then he's just mastered it. He just gets a free kick. How he does it, I don't know. He's obviously been, it's something he's learned from a kid, or he's been taught it, or he's just mastered it. I don't know. He just seems to win the free kick, and it benefits us obviously. He shields the ball. He uses his body and that's from the same model. He's obviously been nurtured as a kid. I know kids do it anyway, and professionals get taught that to protect the ball. But when you're under the cosh, he can allow us to get us up the pitch and win us a free kick, hold the ball. And yes, he doesn't dissect teams, but he reminds me of. Do you remember Paul McKenna, who played in midfield under Billy Davis? That player who just plays it simple, wins it back and just sets off play. And that's what Ryan Yates does. He's not going to be a De Bruyne or a Fabregas or who starts dissecting and scoring 30-yard screamers. He is Ryan Yates, and every team you can go through to the other 19 teams in that league has got a Ryan Yates in their team who plays with a heart and soul for the club. Who, even for Southampton, right? Dibley, the young lad, 18, 19, right? He's young, he's raw, but you could see he cares. Because he's come through the academy. I watched the game of the week, right? Southampton were getting hammered like they normally are, but they were getting absolutely backed. I think it was Spurs. He was the only Apologies to any Southampton fans watching. He was the only player. He was the only player who showed he cared, and that's what It's like when I keep on going back to it. When Man United, I hate to go off on other clubs, but I'm just giving you examples. And these people watching, I'm just going to give you examples. When they sold Scott McTominay, if Ryan Yates left tomorrow, I'm telling you, if Ryan Yates left tomorrow, a lot of Forest fans will realise what he brings to the team, to the club. You need that. Now, we all thought Joe Worrell was that person, but obviously things happen behind the scenes there. But Yates has stepped up, and he's, like Molo said, he stayed under Martin O'Neill. He's played under Chris Hughton. He's played under Cooper. Every manager's flagged off. And yes, we can look at it, and maybe he's a yes man on the training pitch. But okay, a lot of businesses and jobs, like a lot of people don't like yes people. But on the flip side, it gets some places where he has remained in that team, nearly week in, week out, under every manager. And for Roy Keane has still got a soft spot for him. Because when he was there, he mentioned it in his podcast before about Ryan Yates. So clearly this kid has got something about him. Well, I say kid, what is he? How old is Ryan Yates now? Is he 24? 27?
27.
That must be.
He's coming to almost his prime now for a midfielder, that late, that mid 27, 28 part of his life. I'll tell you, Forest fans better be careful what they wish for, because I'll tell you what, if he went to a different club...
To be fair, Steve, most Forest fans appreciate him. I think who don't know anything about football.
Look, I'm the first one to admit, and even Ryan Yates would probably admit, he's not technically the best player in the ball. We all know that.
We all know that.
We know. We're not sitting here saying he is like De Bruyne or Fabregas. I'm not saying that. He is Ryan Yates.
That's my point.
That's
my
his
point. Yeah, but Steve, and then this is what frustrates me. He's not going to be like Fabregas because that's not his job. No. Matt Sells does his job brilliantly. His job is to stop the ball. Yeah. The centre halves do their job brilliantly because their job is to stop the other team scoring. Our front four's job is to open up the opposition. His job is to help those front four do their job better, which he does, which other people struggled with yesterday. If everyone did their job as well as Ryan Yates, we'd be winning the league. Full stop.
Even Ben, right? Ben would agree on this. One of the biggest fans of Ryan Yates.
I'm just listening to you two. I'm just listening. I'm drinking my Sunday.
The only thing that frustrates me, the thing that frustrates me with Ryan Yates, I wish his header-in conversion rate was higher. He should score a lot more. He should score a lot more headers. He does frustrate me, right? Because about the chances he's given up with his head, but that's my own opinion. But
see, he'll score a header against Arsenal on Wednesday. People clip it. He'll score a header. He'll score a header on Wednesday. Clip it.
Speaking of headers, Alanga should have headed that ball yesterday.
If he scored 15 goals a season with his head or whatever, then we never would have kept hold of him. It'd be worth God knows what as a goal scoring midfielder.
How many goals is Ryan?
I think he's only got 3 now, isn't it? 2 or 3.
What,
the Premier League this season?
Huh?
Isn't
that his first one?
No, Leicester.
Leicester.
You've got to score 3 more goals because Australian David said he'll get me a T-shirt if it scores 3 more goals. So please score 3 more goals, Yatesy. Just to shut David up and the other Ryan Yates haters. Please do. Right. Let's change the subject. Because you know what? I love this debate. Like people agree, disagree, and I love it. But this is what I've got. This is why when you see these two arguing, I'm just sitting there, just relaxing.
We're not arguing.
No.
We're not arguing.
No. You're not arguing. You're not shouting, and it's just a healthy debate. That's all.
Yeah. That's Dore there with his Sunny D, like Aina was with his Robina.
I'm good for the chat as well. Forest Ranger, hope you are my friend. Hey Ben, first half was meltdown. Second half was a lot better. We need to play the whole 9 minutes like that. Second half we do Forest Ranger, but that's what it is. We're going to have this kind of things. And Newcastle, first half was fantastic, and here's what it is. Shout out to Forest Ranger.
Right. Can I just say one thing quick though, right? You've got to flip it, right? Newcastle fans will be saying the opposite to us. Why couldn't we play in the first half?
There was, Stephen. There was.
Apparently, Eddie Howe is not too happy with the overall performance.
Yeah, there was.
So you look at
when
it.
we left the game, Newcastle fans, no, we were shocking second half. Like,
Yeah.
and we were shocking first half. So listen, man, this is what happens when, like I said, we're third with Newcastle, and I want Newcastle to get Champions League football. I really do like Forest, but listen,
That game yesterday reminded me of Southampton home. We battered Southampton in that first half, and now Southampton fans in the second half, we go in, leaving the ground, going, why couldn't we play that in the first half against Forest? Why did we save for the second half? That's how football can, and that's why I go back to that half-time thing, that dynamic half-time. Sometimes you don't want half-time to come, but that's another debate.
One other thing, Ben, did you see when Elliot Anderson come off, the old Newcastle fans give him a hell of a cheer, didn't they?
yes.
You see that come through as well?
You know what?
Massive.
I don't know. People are chatting. Morgan's White wasn't great yesterday at all. I personally think, and I wish Anderson played in that 10 role. He was very good. He was very. Look, he wasn't good though. I thought he was my man of the match. If I'm honest, Anderson was my man of the match. But I thought, why did you disagree with me? Come on, talk to me. Come on.
Not as a 10. He's not a number 10. He's a quality player. He's your classic central midfielder. He's wasted as a 10. He doesn't play on the half turn. You got to play on the half turn like Gibbs White does. Gibbs White was good yesterday in the second half, really good. He was the main man. He ran every blade of grass in that place. I'm not having. He struggled at Fulham. He was all right yesterday. But,
I don't know. I don't think he was good yesterday. If I'm honest, come on,
it's hard to play when your centre halves and your fullbacks and one of your midfielders and your wide men just keep giving the ball to the other team before it gets to you, though, isn't it?
Right. We're going to finish off with the Newcastle game, then we'll stay a little bit about the Arsenal game. But people in the chat, who was your man of the match yesterday, and what was your team rating? We'll start with you. Chelsea, who was your man of the match yesterday?
Anderson, for me.
Yeah, I'll take that.
An absolute shifting.
Kev?
Yeah, I'll do the same, actually, to be fair.
Steve?
Anderson, by far.
Yeah, see what I mean?
No one touched him.
And Anderson as well. Go on, Molo.
Him and Isaac were the best two players on the pitch.
Yeah. Molo?
Yeah, Anderson, man of the match by a mile. In his proper position in centre mid, bro.
Bingo, everyone. So Anderson gets man of the match as well. People in chat, I said, who was your man of the match yesterday? We're going to touch on the Arsenal game as well. I've got a preview show with tomorrow at 7 o'clock with an Arsenal fan, top guy as well. So watch out for that. Right. Let's just change a bit. I'm going to ask you, Chelsea, what players would you bring in for the Arsenal game? Because Arsenal's shocking, as we know. What players would you bring in? People in the chat as well. People in the chat. Which player would you bring in for Arsenal game?
Oh my God! Okay.
Wait, should we ask Kev first?
Yeah, give me.
Yeah.
Go on, Kev.
Do you know, I'd pretty much go with what it was. I'd probably take out Dominguez, not for any other reason. I'd drop Yates in there. I probably wouldn't do a lot else. Second half was really good. There was a flow. Pick up where you left off. Go for it.
Okay. Chelsea ready?
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't know.
Right, Molo, who would you bring in? Who would you bring in for tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Wednesday.
Yates. I'll put Yates at number 1. Yates at number 2. No, I'll bring in Yates in. No, definitely Yatesy. And a bit left field this, although he might be out of it tomorrow because he's got off the hook a bit tonight, hasn't he? Because he let's say he didn't have his best game, Dominguez. I quite like when we play the better teams or when we play away from home. I quite like having Dominguez playing that wide kind of Gary Parker role or Martin O'Neill role, sort of centre mid playing out wide, so you can then do the midfield work to help out the fullbacks. I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Because we've got two quality wingers, although Hudson-Odoi is probably one of our better players today, to be fair. But I like the pace of Elanga against Arsenal's defence. You can say what you like about all their other injuries, but Arsenal's defence is pretty good, to be fair. So we've got to keep it tight at the other end. So, yeah, I'd bring in Yates, and put Dominguez out wide, and depending on what he thinks, which wing he needs to start with, leave it at that.
Steve, Chelsea, you go last, Chelsea. You go last. Steve, who would you bring in? Or would you keep same team?
Yeah, I wouldn't tweet too much. It's hard to think when you say that, though, because how poor that first half is. We letting them off the hook a bit, but then the second half they made up for it. But I would definitely put Yates in there to upset Odegaard. What I would say is Arsenal are lacking pace at the moment. They've lost a lot of their pace. Martinelli's out. Obviously, they haven't got Saka. They haven't got that boy. The boy who got red carded.
Skelly.
Yeah.
They haven't got obviously Havertz up front. They've got some serious injury problems up top. The defense is very good, like Moll said. But yeah, I'd definitely put Yates in there to try and get close to. It's that midfield, because Arsenal's midfield is still decent. Ben, they got Partey, they got Rice, Odegaard. I think
Rice
where the well, that's the thing, right? There's rumours that Rice and someone else. I think they just took Rice off as precaution. But apparently, though, you've seen about the defence is that apparently Arsenal were giving up more chances in the last couple of games. So that's the only thing I would do is put Yates in there. Someone has to get close to Odegaard. You let him play, right? He will just like he did after.
He batters.
Because that guy.
I speak to Arsenal fans, and that's been his best game against us. He actually battered us.
He's outstanding. Him and Saka.
Saka. Gravy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not playing. That's the bonus thing about it. Saka's not playing. Havertz, Martinelli, Lewis Skills. I think, Lewis Kelly. Right, okay. You know what? Let me get everyone's score prediction, because Steve, you've not said your score prediction in it for all my life.
Hang on. Kelsey, I haven't said yet.
Right, so sorry.
Can't get away with it. Can't get away with it. I'm looking at it.
She's had that long one to do the tactics board, man.
I'm going to throw it right under the bus here. Go on.
I wouldn't change too much. I would put Yatesy in. I think, like how everyone has said, I think he can disrupt and do what he needs to do. But I'm just absolutely myself about that game. I feel like that's going to be a mirror of just someone holding up a mirror to see just what we are as a team.
I'm going for it. And as well, and because all of us want Yates back in the team, you're going to get the usual suspect, we Ryan Yates lovers, and I don't give a flying cheese and hell, but I don't care. He deserves to be in the team. So Ryan Yates for me as well. People who score in the chat as well. What is your score prediction for Wednesday's game? I'm going to throw Chelsea under the bus. What's score prediction, Chelsea?
Right. I hate. I'm gonna go with my head. 2-1 Arsenal. I am. What? I can't see it. I'm gonna set my expectations low, so then I'm gonna get a high.
Wait. Chelsea, you know what you're doing right now? Because I'm gonna throw Mullet under the bus as well. Mullet every single time in a group chat says the opposite 2-0 win. Yes, Mullet, I'm throwing it under the bus every single time.
Come on, Mullet, back me up.
So,
I'm very superstitious.
You've got to change it now, Mullet. Bully lost on Sunday. You've got to change it now. So,
it's getting worse. My superstitions, I've got a list of things for every game now. If we win, I have to keep the same.
Okay, then.
I'm running out of corners at the moment because we keep losing.
Kevin, what's yours, Kevin?
1-1. Yeah.
I'll take that. No. I'm not taking that. Sorry, Kev. No. You're doing a Chelsea there. I'm not happy.
That's not a loss, is it? Eh? It's all right.
Lost, but I'll still take it. We're not lost. Kev, I do apologise. And Muller, I'm not going to ask you. I know what your score prediction. Don't we, Steve? We do know. We know what.
John, my official one, or what I think it's going to be.
Your officially one, not the fake one.
Official one, 2-0 Arsenal. But I actually think it's got a 0-0 draw written all over it.
That's again. I don't want to hear that.
Two very dominant defences.
Arsenal got great defense.
They've got no injuries there, have they? Defence. They've got options there.
Left back.
If he picked the AC, two very battling midfield, and I just think unless Chris Wood again, Ole does the magic, gets the goal, then I can see. Sorry, I always give him his full name now when I talk about him. I think they've still got decent players, but it's just there's a little bit of I don't want to say overconfident, a bit like writing off Yates as just being a midfield destroyer, and their forward line can still score. That Marino is a decent player. I know he's not a natural centre forward, but he's not doing a bad job, is he? 2 goals in the 2 games, albeit they're in 1 game. So I think it could be a 0-0, but I think I don't know. I just don't know now. 2-0 Arsenal, obviously. Officially 2-0 Arsenal.
Unbelievable.
I'm so much like you, Molo. I know exactly what you're thinking.
Steve, what's yours?
The only good thing about losing yesterday, the trainers I wore, I've only had to wear them once. So tomorrow it's back to red Adidas.
Back to Adidas. Steve?
I'm gonna follow Kev and go with 1-1, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to.
I'm the only one to be positive about this, and no, because listen, right, I'm not going to go. Arsenal second for a reason.
Not a bad result, Dore. We've lost 3 of our last 4. We've lost 3 of our last 4. Dore's not a bad result.
Think about it, right? We lost to Brentford. We lost Brentford 5-0, and then we battered Brighton 7-0. Our two away performance has not been great. We're going to come home against a team that's not been great at all. I'm going to put respect on Arsenal. I feel Forest will win 3-1. Is that okay?
No,
this is the most nervous I've been for a game. I just feel like because obviously we're being second and third. No, but it's just holding that mirror up.
No. Nervous was last season.
Kevin, this is why Kevin's on the show. Little slap running door, and that's all fine.
Can I just do you know what though? I think we've got 2 really tough games, even though Man City aren't quite what they were. They're still a top side. And we are, one of my mates has said, after Fulham, he said, at the end of the day, I don't 100% agree with this, but the stats kind of back it up a bit. We've become a really good team, but flat track bullies. We beat every team in the bottom 10 and only beat 3 in the top 9, because obviously can't beat ourselves. And after we've played Man City and Arsenal, regardless of the results, I think we've got 8 games against teams in the bottom 10, haven't we, in total? So our season isn't defined by what happens in these next 2 games at all.
Exactly.
And, Arsenal are a good side at the end of the day. And if they had like, was it last season when they only had 2 decent centre-backs and they both got injured or whatever, and it cost them the title possibly. It might have been the season before. And the strength, I know he's not bought I know he hasn't bought a striker in about 400 years, but their defence is very, very, very strong. I mean, what would they give to have Chris Wood on their books for this rest of this season? Finishing off the chances.
I had a not an argument, I had a conversation. I'm saying, would you have Chris Wood in the Arsenal team right now? And they're saying, for this season, yes, because he's look what's happening. 18 goals. So Arsenal fans take Chris Wood.
It took 1 hour 52 seconds before somebody mentioned Chris Wood today. Everything. It's good. It's good.
We don't have anyone called Chris Wood.
We've got no one called Chris Wood.
Oh, sorry.
No one called Chris Wood. Chris Wood again, Ole. No, Chris Wood again, Ole. Give him his full name. Come on. Put respect on the name.
All right.
Can I just say things quickly? In regard to these next 2 games, right? Now, I hate the cliche of never better chance to play teams, but I'm going to use it because Arsenal got injuries and Man City not the team they were, right? And we both games are at home. We got to go for it. If you look at the run of fixtures, like Newcastle have got to go to Anfield, Man City got to go to Spurs.
Yep.
Right. So there's a good chance if we can get
3 points there for Man City.
Oh no! Spurs are the kryptonite for Man City, like Bournemouth are for us. So
And they got Bono back.
Yeah, so this Arsenal game was a very interesting game for me because with their injuries, they still got quality players, but in key areas, they are missing a lot of pace. I mean, if we go for it, I think it's going to mirror the Liverpool game, though. I can see us going 1-0 up, and then I think it's going to be back to the wall there for the last 20, half hour. They'll have a lot of the ball and just keep on battering the door. The Man City game, again, we've got to switch in the middle of that in the Cup as well. I mean, we're forgetting that as well. You know, we've got a great opportunity here to go in the quarter-final of the FA Cup as well. So this season, I know we've lost to Newcastle 4-3, but, you know, we, like Ben, you keep on saying it, we're still in the league. We could potentially be in the quarter-final of the Cup.
Exactly.
So this season's still going.
Win the FA Cup, Steve.
We're going to win the FA Cup.
We're winning the FA Cup this year.
It's going to be
you know what, right?
It's going to be a Forest and Fulham final.
Oh, God, no. No, look, right? We'll play a mixed team of Bournemouth and Fulham in the final.
Oh,
a mixed game.
Oh, Dave. Imagine. Oh, thanks,
It'd be
Dave.
like a Bournemouth Fulham semi-final. Neither team can win on penalties. So you go, do you know what? Let's do a mixed 11. You play Forest in the final. There you are. That'll be a worst. Oh my God.
Right, people, it's been a great show. Thank you to all the panel as well. Thank you to Marlo, Steve, Chelsea, and Kev. If you are rewatching this, if you disagree with everything that we said, get involved as well. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. I'll talk about Ryan Yates after the show. Yeah.
Let's think about Ryan Yates. No one's allowed to disagree with that.
Ryan Yates. And all the Ryan Yates haters. I'm not gonna. I know there's kids watching this, but this is me for Ryan Yates haters and all that. But yeah, watch out for me and Albert. 7 o'clock. Talk about Forest and Arsenal. But yeah, Forest tough game against Arsenal. We're still third. Stop being grumpy, people. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. Peace and love. Up the bloody Forest.